Four Downs brought to you by Ted Russell Ford Lincoln on Parkside Drive and Kingston Pike. That last one was a joke. Okay, so let's look at some of the prospects that were in town over the weekend. Savion Hiter, great name, 5-star running back. Has he considered the move to linebacker given his name?
No, you would think he should, but I will say this. He drew some. I think Tennessee is in very good position to land him. He visited Tennessee over the weekend, and I don't know if you know, but he drew some massive ire from Michigan fans who thought they had him locked down. And so his visit to Tennessee, they went at him on Twitter, which I think could sour him on Michigan fans. And I think, I'm just going to say this right up front, I think Tennessee's in the lead for Savion Hiter. He's a Virginia kid. Tennessee has a pipeline into Virginia. I think they're going to land Savion Hiter. I know that's crazy, but I do think they're going to get him. I think he's, after seeing what Dylan Sampson did last year in the offense too, I think a lot more running backs are going to be excited to go to Tennessee.
Which they probably weren't heading into last year. You thought of it more as a quarterback wide receiver offense.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And after what happened last year, I think that's going to stay common because there's going to be teams playing a lot more shell coverage. But what's underrated is, and what Heupel can recruit to is, you can run they run the ball a lot. Heupel has always run the ball a lot when he's been at Tennessee. So I do think that would be a huge pickup for Tennessee on that front. And yeah, no, I think he's going to land at Tennessee. I think particularly, even though Michigan is running back you almost with that power eye that they run, I think that Tennessee, what the recent success they had, is going to change everything with that for running backs.
Chad Simmons had this to say, and Chad's usually pretty tied in with a lot of these guys. Tennessee is deep in the race. Savion Hiter has connected with the staff. He loves the Tennessee offense, and the Vols get the 5-star running back's final visit of the summer. That was this past weekend. Ohio State is working to stay in this, but Tennessee's top competition looks to be Michigan. Coop, what should we do?
Cooper Mays here. Hit like and subscribe.
And what down was that?
Coop here. First down.
All right,
Cooper Mays here. Second down.
All right, Coop. Thanks for setting us up. Second down is this young man, Tissi Moa, 4-star athlete. Again, I just see Moa, and maybe I'm stereotyping, but if it's a Polynesian player, I'll take as many as you got.
He hails from Utah, Ogden, Utah, to be specific.
Right.
And he is an athlete, 6'2", 190. He wants to be Travis Hunter at the college level. He wants to be Travis Hunter. I hear that, from what I'm reading, Michigan State, Utah, Michigan, and Oklahoma are also targeting him heavily. I'm going to tell you what his commitment, I believe, hinges on. His commitment hinges on how Tennessee uses Boo Carter this year. And if they use Boo Carter a lot, I do think that I think he will look at Tennessee, because none of the other schools are going to run two-way players. But if Tennessee uses Boo Carter, then yeah, we might be talking about him going to Tennessee.
Yeah, and I'm not high on the two-way player thing, not as high as you are, but I will say it's going to become a necessity very soon. And I say that because you got few players. All right, here we go. What down are we on, Coop?
Tennessee center Cooper Mays here. Third down.
Brought to you by City Heating and Air Conditioning, cityheatandair.com. Recruiting wrap as actually it was brought to you by Ted Russell, Ford, Ted Russell Lincoln. We got a little out of mojo there, but I got to tell you about Ted Russell. When I went there and purchased my Jeep, the buying process was unbelievable, unbelievably easy, unbelievably quick, and I was so taken care of. I was so pleased when I drove off the lot, and every time I hop in the car, I'm absolutely ecstatic. More prospect news, Tennessee prospect news, and it's brought to you by Ted Russell Ford and Ted Russell Lincoln. Go to tedrussell.net, tedrusselllincoln.net on Parkside Drive, and, of course, Kingston Pike, East Tennessee's largest volume dealer.
A beacon of hope in a world of high prices. Look to the skies, Knoxville. Super Savings is here. Ted Russell Ford is East Tennessee's #1 Volume 4 dealer. Employee pricing is here. You pay what we pay on all new Ford models. Come see the super dealer today at either Ted Russell Ford location, Parkside Drive, or Kingston Pike.
Tennessee center Cooper Mays here. Third down.
Thank you, Coop. All right, so we got this young man up next, Braden Rouse, 4-star linebacker. What can you tell us about Mr. Rouse?
Yes, Braden Rouse is a 4-star linebacker out of Marietta, where Tennessee does have a solid, decent pipeline, but Tennessee is going to have to fend off Alabama, Texas, and Michigan to land him. And familiar face, Brian Jean-Marie at Michigan is the one recruiting him heavily, and he's recruiting against Tennessee. But William Inge and Tim Banks are going hard after Braden Rouse. I mean, hard. And I mean, they're pulling out the big guns at him. So we'll kind of see what he does. He's probably the biggest wild card that I can't put my finger on exactly where he'll end up. But I do think, I will say this, Tennessee's going all in on him, and he seemed to really, really, really love his visit to Tennessee over the weekend, which is a really good sign for Tennessee. Now, again,
Go ahead.
I said again, it's a summer. I don't know. You know more than me on this. I feel like players need to witness games more than they need to witness like a summer visit to commit. Maybe I'm wrong on that. You can
No,
tell me.
I agree, but it's getting squeezed out of the calendar.
Yeah, it is.
That's one of the problems. I mean, if you like, none of these guys you mentioned, and we'll have a 4-star, or we'll have 4th down coming up, but none of these guys you mentioned have to worry about it. Any school is going to hold a scholarship open for them. But I'm sure there's some 3-stars that got squeezed because they want to see the game day atmosphere, and they either had to commit during the summer without seeing it because they were quick risers as juniors, or they didn't go and lost their scholarship. I feel pretty certain that probably happened. That's unfortunate.
All SEC center Cooper Mays here. 4th down.
Who's 4th down on our fantastic list brought to you by City Heating and brought to you by Ted Russell Ford, TedRussellLincoln.net.
4th down on our list is a man named Carson Sneed, who is a commitment, but this is a big deal. Carson Sneed is committed to Tennessee. He's been committed to Tennessee for a while in the 2026 class. He is out of Donaldson Christian Academy in Nashville. 4-star prospect on composite, 3-star on 247 Sports. Florida is not giving up on him. Florida is trying everything in their arsenal to get him. But Carson Sneed reportedly loved his visit over the weekend with Alec Eberle and Joey Halsley. And sounds like he's still committed, but Tennessee, he's a commitment. Tennessee has to do work to keep from flipping, basically.
Yep. There you go. Steve says y'all need to hit the like button. It's that important. It is. So take a moment, hit that like button. Let's get people, more people on board. It does mean a lot. And the support recently has been fantastic. We certainly appreciate you. And so we've got some big exciting things coming up, including Boo Carter playing offense, which that seems to be Caleb's dream. Would you rather Boo Carter get 1,000 offensive yards or Tennessee win 10 games and advance to the semifinal playoff?
Well, I mean, the prop bet, based on my prop bets, I got to go Boo Carter 1,000 yards because I think I want to put money on that, and my bets matter more.